Oh, okay. So I had to refresh my uh like system. Like I know I'm like not hydrated enough. I did get a new watch though. I got the OnePlus 3 smartwatch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm all in on
You're
OnePlus
all
too.
in on OnePlus. I was just gonna say that you have
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, the moment they're pulling out of the USA, which I hope is not true, because I'm so not happy with the direction of anybody else right now at all. Like not even close.
Yeah.
And so it would be very disappointing because even the watch itself, I'm like, okay, they did some things to it that I really like. Having been on Samsung for so long, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. So now I'm being reminded to be hydrated. Does beer count as hydration?
I don't think so.
It's got water in it.
I guess it does.
And my watch tells me to stand, and I'm kind of hoppy because hopping is kind of like standing when you're drinking hot. That's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Okay. So I should have saved my joke for now. Are you using your mouse? Matt,
not right now.
Matt's been infested with mice, not the computer kind. But this actually leads into AI. And we'll come back to this too, because I was going to show some of what I was working on even today. You use Claude. Many people don't think of Claude this way, but I've started to, in relation to needing to compile a disparate amount of information around an incident, a case, or whatever you want to call it, to have it synthesize everything that might be going on and then giving me something that I need, like a timeline, like documentation, let me know where I could go with it next. I used it in relation to my Facebook account recovery because it was like indefinitely suspended and I exhausted all the official support channels. Claude fixed everything, but I guess you used Claude to do the same thing, maybe not for an online account, but specifically in relation to your apartment lease being violated, or at least the contract terms. And Claude helped you formulate what you needed to and told you exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah. So I fed everything into Claude from the very beginning. So, well, not from the very beginning, but from the first week. So after it happened, I fed all the information I said, and I actually used the voice command on iOS. And okay. I was talking to Claude back and forth, and we were having a conversation. And then I put that into a project. And then inside that project, I then turned it into the co-working environment, because you have more of an upload there. And so I shared information in my lease that was in there. And I shared all that information from the leasing, like what's the responsibility of this, what's their responsibility, what's my responsibility. It went through the lease and basically said, hey, here's what your responsibilities are, here's what their responsibilities are. And I said, great, let's start drafting letters, and we started working on things. I started feeding more information as new mice started showing up in the house and the apartment. I started feeding that information in there, and it started compiling that into a letter. And then a continuation of that, I started sending emails. It started helping me draft emails on what to say, how to say it, everything like that. And the approach, I said I wanted to be firm, but I didn't want to sound like a legal thing.
Aggressive?
I wanted to say firm, and I wanted to say and stand my ground on everything. And so we've been going back and forth, and there has been some movement on it since then. But it wasn't until I said, hey, they're and Claude actually told me this, and I kind of looked it up. It said they may be in violation of your leasing agreement. And so then I went and started looking up, and it started pointing me to facts and everything. And since there had been no communication from them at all, like besides talking points that they were giving me, I fed that information in there and what the talking points were. And basically we drafted a letter that was a certified letter that I then came over to your house, because who has a printer but Chris Perlo? And I came over and I said, hey, can you print this? because I need to send a certified mail copy saying that they got the certified mail. And then I also sent electronic version of that letter. I waited till the end of the day because I just previously sent them an email and there was nothing. And then I said, hey, I told my wife, let's send it. Let's be done with it. And so she went down to the post office and she sent it. After she sent it by certified mail, then I sent the electronic version. Within 40 minutes, literally 40 minutes of sending that message, we received a phone call and we received an email on their action plan. And that's what we were asking for from the very beginning. We were asking them to take action and they were refusing to take action, or they weren't telling us what action they were taking. And they pointed out a few things and they followed through with a few things, and then they haven't followed through with other things. So I've been continuing to feed that information into Claude, and I've kind of turned it into, I haven't turned it into a skill yet, but I've turned it into a project. Claude knows everything that is going on. And if something new pops up, I feed that information into Claude, and then Claude will then keep track of that. And then if we need to draft another letter, we need to draft another email. It also sees the email. So when I receive an email from them, I take that information and I said, here's the emails that I received. I copy and paste it. I put it in there. So Claude has a complete record of everything that was going on. I've got photos, I've got videos, I've got everything. I don't necessarily share those with Claude, but I have them, and Claude knows that I have these videos, and it has helped like tremendous, like to get some action at least taken. So
don't sleep on AI's ability, and I use that term in an umbrella capacity, these tools' ability to help lift the cognitive load. When I find myself feeling a little stressed or overwhelmed or thinking, oh, how am I going to get this information and that information and present this and do that? I'm now stopping myself and thinking, I need to give this to, in effect, an assistant, someone, an executive assistant who can synthesize and take all that disparate information and provide some kind of coherent output, whatever I might need, at the tail end of it, to try to get to a viable outcome for me. And I think we're still in the age, and I realize this is like way early days, like, we haven't even begun to crawl with what AI is doing to transform the world. But we're still in the age where we open up a chat window, we type something, and then we forget about it. But using something like projects in Claude, even on the web, which is primarily where I use Claude, it is still incredibly powerful. That it's a small knowledge base, right? I don't need it to be expansive, but just small bits of my life that, may be temporal. They may only exist, this problem may only exist briefly in time. I don't need to hold on to it indefinitely, but I need to keep track and I need to keep on it. Otherwise, things could go sideways. And when I feel that internally, in myself, I'm now turning to, I guess, a colleague, a virtual colleague, or really a virtual employee that we all have access to through these AI tools. And really relying on it to help with the research and the synthesis to be able to help me better solve problems through these projects, right?
Yeah. And one of the things, because Claude always didn't get it right, so you have to remember that. Claude's not going to be perfect every time. But I did say, hey, where are you getting this information from? Show me your sources of where you're getting this information. Yep. And then I go out and verify that information to make sure it's right, because it had been wrong on a few things. It had told me to go to code enforcement. Code enforcement doesn't deal with civil matters.
Right.
So it was giving me some additional information that wasn't actually accurate. It gave me some additional information about the Attorney General's office, a complaint that wasn't accurate. So I had to go and look that information up. But I said, hey, I want to know your sources when you're sourcing emails and where you're getting that information from. So at the bottom of the email or bottom of the thing, it'll show its sources, and I'll go clarify those.
Right.
And make sure, because I don't want to send something that's wrong.
Yeah, I know. So that's the problem.
Yeah. So, and I almost think of it as like a notepad too. Like I open up Claude,
a scratch pad.
Yeah, I open up Claude, I use the voice talking, and I talk to it, and it talks back to me, which does make it more of a personal assistant. That does make it more of somebody that is kind of listening to you, taking notes, and archiving that information so you can go back to it at a later date.
Matt, hold that thought.
Yeah. Pixels has a printer too. I do not. I have 3D printers. I do not have a regular printer, but thankfully Chris came through with that. Yeah, John, we are Star Wars fans, both Chris and I. Chris has a larger collection than I do, though. And Chris is also more of a fan of Darth Vader than I am. I'm more on the Jedi. So what else we got here? Let's see, Jerry Kid says that I've coded a few times and I'm pretty close to yeah, so vibe coding is really fun, definitely.
Well, just keep going with it. That's the thing. Sorry I had to disappear for a second. I realized when my dog was like pawing me, like, what do you need attention for? She needed to go outside. I'm like, I can't do that right now. So like I chained her up. I'm like, okay, do not do anything, right?
Yeah.
So she's good for the time being. Okay, yeah. We're definitely good. And it's good to see everybody live, cross-platform here tonight. Thank you for joining. Now, I've seen a lot of people take what they've learned with AI, and instead of launching a website or a service, what they'll do is they'll release a skill and they'll put it on GitHub, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to me because I will very often see the skill, ascertain pretty quickly whether or not it might be useful to me, and then I'll take that GitHub link, feed it directly to Claude. I'm like, hey, I think this could be useful. Could it? I mean, what do you think? And Claude will look at the current list of skills that I have and say, with an honest assessment, well, it might break what you have, or actually this is a good addition. What it does different is this, or no, avoid this part because it won't fit the way that we've kind of built our experience together. But it's a quick shortcut. If you're looking for a starting point, so many new skills are out there. Or even if you've thought about taking an experience you've had inside of, well, Claude in this case with the skill, instead of just sitting on it, you can share it. Like if there's no reason for me to sit on some of these skills, I'm more than happy to share them. What I wish I could do is more easily point, click, publish to GitHub. Right now, you can't do that. And believe you me, I've tried. I'm like, you kind of have to build the repository manually. It's not as clean as it could be. I'm sure someone could create an easy way of doing it. Whether or not that would be worth the effort, I don't know. But certainly, if you're not looking at GitHub or you're not checking out other people's skills to integrate them into your own workflow, I think you're missing out on a huge part of what could make the experience better for you with AI.
Yeah, I think you shared a social media skill, I think it was, or a social platform skill. And I actually took some of your information. I didn't use it all, but I used some of that information to put into my social media skill, because you had some other good things in there, like character limits, hashtags, those type of things. And I kind of modified mine a little bit to kind of mirror a little bit of yours, but still keep some of my context in there, because obviously social media skills are different for everybody. Everybody talks differently. Everybody has different tones and direction that they go with their social media things. So I found that really useful. And I found some other ones out there too that I've looked at. I've never actually taken a skill and put it completely in there and used it. I've kind of mirrored it and kind of modified some of my skills to work better.
Well, now that you say that, great segue, Matt, because here's my first published skill on GitHub. I ended up putting everything that I experienced and put together for recovering my Facebook account into a skill. I abstracted it, and I went a little further because I have another friend or a colleague who just recently lost access that I know of. He didn't get back into his Discord server. He was hacked, and all sorts of bad things happened. And I asked him, I'm like, have you done this? Have you done that? He said, support's not responding. And this is a familiar story. And so some people just kind of give up. Like, they throw up their hands, like, it's too difficult. Like, there's no way. How are you gonna navigate this? And so what I did was I kind of, I thought, well, let me build a skill. So you can go there right now. It's Signal Flare on my account, Chris Perillo. It's already got 2 stars, which is kind of surprising to me, because I really haven't published it all. I don't know who started.
Somebody's started.
It's funny. But yeah, it's made to be modified by the community as different things come up, like different companies or different workflows or whatever. So this is the thing, is it could very well be the wrong tool for the job. So this skill basically identifies what you're doing or what you might need, how it might help you, what it won't help you do, how to use it, so on and so forth. The high level overview of what it is, a structured set of plays for getting a stuck case in front of someone with authority to fix it when a platform standard support has stopped working, and you need someone who can actually act to see you. And this was, I feel, the difference between permanent limbo with meta and support and the resolution of me getting a year and a half later my Facebook account back.
Yeah.
This was huge. And so, I mean, the basically the playbook that I went through, which when it wasn't a playbook, it took like maybe an hour or two to work with Claude, saying, here's all my stuff, here's all the data, here's what we got to do. Here's what can I do? Like, I'm stuck. What do I got to do? And so it told me what emails to send. It did research on who to send those emails to. It gave me a cadence. It gave me direction. Told me, it wrote everything that I needed to submit. And it works, right? So the idea is to encapsulate that escalation into a skill such that you or anybody, if you're running into a problem of needing to have your account restored, could use it. So, right now it's just got a list of supported platforms. There's also, I think, a generic opportunity, like, if, my account was with such and such, well, then you could use this skill in the foundation, but apply it to such and such. These are just some of the common platforms, when people get caught in account limbo. But I was very clear, it's not providing legal advice. It's not a guarantee. It's not abuse of the system. It's not anti-platform. It's very clear. It's just helping you better organize what, you can do to get yourself out of being stuck. And so, and again, it ends with stay calm, document everything, run the plays in order, hire an attorney for the close, right? Like, if you need to hire an attorney, you don't necessarily need to, right? Last resort would be litigation. And so for some people, that makes sense. For a lot of people, it doesn't make sense. It's like, it's an account. They're not going to go that far with it. It would cost way too much. So what I did was I built the skill. And so I've got this repository, set it up last week. But then what I did, and I just finished this today, this is an app, a single page web app that runs on arcade.perillo.com. That's Signal Flare. So it's a UI to that skill. It gives a form to it. So for someone who's like, I don't understand how to do this, that, or the other thing, well, this app makes it a lot more intelligible. Like, if you didn't know how to install a skill or what to do with a chat instance and what have you, this will help you build the documentation. But what you need right up front is you need your Anthropic key, which you can get at the console.anthropic.com. And once you do that, the good thing is, I don't charge anything for it, but it's just pennies on the dollar. basically, because you're using your Anthropic key and you deposit. I think you have to deposit a minimum of like $15, but it's nothing like compared to what this is. And then what it'll do is it'll step you through, right? So we've got a fictional case. Like Maya sees this screen. Like if the user clicks walk me through what I need, on the welcome screen, they land here. This is where they learn, okay, all this stuff. Then they get the key. Then before anything, Claude basically says, this works when it works. This isn't legal advice. You do the sending. You're in control. And then, okay, so are you doing it for yourself or are you helping somebody else, right? One of two paths. Then it's what's the company, what's your name. Then the person writes a paragraph, adds files. These are uploaded to Anthropic, not me. Then it gives you kind of like, okay, here's what I'm getting. I'm getting this timeline. This is kind of this is what happened. What would help if you had all this stuff, it would add to the case. So this would help. Maya picks which documents to prepare. Okay, I want all these things. And then before I write the complaint, here's the outline, blah, 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 blah. Again, every step of the way, the user has to kind of confirm, right? Good catch. Makes a modification. Okay, here's the pros. Read it carefully. Every claim should match what you've told me. So again, it gives a high-level overview. And then ultimately, the content in a zip file. So it'll produce the documents in a zip file, like Markdown and PDFs and no, not PDFs, docx files and text files and Markdown. But it'll give her this user, it'll give them everything they might need. I haven't done any user testing on it. I've only done like high-level bug fixing, but it should work for anybody that was trying to recover an account. So this is kind of the idea behind doing it, behind making this app, right? This is the thing that you need. Here's what you need. If money or sign up is a problem, that's okay. Here's the thing. Again, I'm trying to be not all things to all people, but provide more of a structure or a structured outcome for people who have run into this problem, right? I thought it was an interesting app, and it actually relies on the GitHub backend, that repository specifically. If it's down, there's like a local kind of content, like a fallback. But that way, if someone modifies the repository, this app is always pulling the latest information, and then it's linked right down here. Framework behind this is open source. You can read every line, so you can see everything, stem to stern, and ultimately try it. And even if you didn't want to use this, fine, I don't care. Like, use the skill, or at least try to use Claude or an AI tool to better structure, the case that you need to get stuck out of support help. So yeah, this is the latest app. I don't know how I wouldn't say it's exciting, but it's kind of an example of, well, could I leverage that repository in this way and pull from it, not have to, charge people, allow them to BYOK, bring your own key, and basically come up with, a viable outcome, right? So it's a way to get unstuck. So yeah, there's my skill. It's the only skill, and I've packed it with all sorts of information, because people are going to ask questions like, what can you do? What is this? What is that? What is this? What's your privacy policy? All this stuff. Because this is deep stuff, or potentially deep stuff. And I want to make it very clear, like, I don't see any of the data. It goes directly to Anthropic. So all that is completely transparent right up front. You could even continue where you started, so you can choose your a zip file and then pick up the one that was exported to re-import, and then start from scratch, not from scratch, but like here I need to add something to this case and re-export. So yeah, this is to me, this is what vibe coding is kind of good for. I know people who have had issues and just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
So this is something that I'm willing to try. I mean, I don't know who's gonna like it. I haven't promoted it or anything on Facebook, or I'm sorry, on LinkedIn. I should, and I probably will. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. I like that you put it on a GitHub and then you also put it in the arcade
Yeah.
as a web app. So
Hang on. Okay, there we go. I had to send that. You reminded me I had to send the link to somebody else, not the GitHub link, but this app, because you and me, we'll just go in Claude. But for 99% of the people, they're not going to vibe code their own solution, or they're not even thinking that they could go to AI today. You know, they're looking for a software solution. They're looking for a point-click solution. That's who this is intended to serve.
Yeah. And that's literally what I thought about when I was like compiling all this information. I was starting to put it in a notepad. I was starting to document everything in a note. And I said, why am I doing this? Why not have Claude do this for me? And summarize everything that we just talked about, put it in notes, put it in there. I don't have to touch it. It's there.
Yeah.
That way, if it comes down to something later on, I mean, you've been dealing with your Facebook issue for like over a year. And, you know, this is a great, 100% a great way of utilizing that to get your account back.
Do not sleep on it. It is so powerful.
Yeah.
You don't need to vibe code your own thing. This is just, if anything, to me, this was just kind of an experiment. Like, hey, I push stuff. Where's my GitHub? I've pushed stuff to GitHub before, never published a skill. So that was a first. I thought this was a skill worth publishing, right? A skill that some people may be interested in, helping with. There's, a possibility, who knows? I need to update this though. Oops. Give me a second. Signal Flare. I'm gonna close that because otherwise I get tab click happy. I wanted to update the link so that when people are on the GitHub, they can go here and see kind of the app in action.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, something's better than nothing, and I'm willing to try it. In fact, I ended up using this app called Lev. Let's see if I can find it again. I gotta find it. It's a free app, or at least it's free right now. It is GitLab. That's what it is. I'm gonna open up So what you can do with GitLab is flesh out an idea, or that you might have, or that it may have, and it'll turn it into an evaluation of whether or not it's a good idea, and or like it needs help, what the improvements. Now for me, if I go to, let's see if I can go to root. Yep. I'll show you. This is at gitlev.co. I guess started by a guy who lives locally. I knew him like eons ago. You chat with it, and it'll give you an evaluation. So if I were to go after venture funding, I've now got, for that the Signal Flare app, right? Targets a it gives me a focus. Targets a very real, emotionally intense, and often financially significant problem with a focused initial wedge and a credible long-term expansion story across platforms and dispute types. The TAM, total addressable market, and timing narrative is promising, giving rising platform dependence and regulatory scrutiny. Yada, yada, yada. Go-to-market's thoughtfully framed, yada, yada, yada. Overall, this is a solid venture backable concept if you can de-risk distribution, prove it, unit economics, etc. But even as a bootstrap, this is what I mean, sure, getting funded, I wouldn't know what to do with it. But even as a bootstrap, kind of like, could I turn this very simple app itself into something larger? I don't know why it's has to reevaluate. I guess I'll have to come back to it. But even the bootstrap, yeah, it's viable. It's viable to bootstrap this. I don't want to cancel. I want to go back to there we go. And then it gives you kind of like this note board of like how do you do customer discovery? Who are your customers? And it fleshes a lot of this stuff out for you. Like once you give it the crux of it, like the customer discovery interview script, it builds that for you, which is insanely awesome for a product manager. Does a competitive landscape, like all the stuff you might need as a startup. Your outreach template, your summary or your elevator pitch. your market sizing, brand development, go-to-market strategy, product, even down to the product build and the PRD. Like I gave it the structure and I gave it direction, but it baked a lot of this. The team that might be good to have, job descriptions. Now, what would be interesting for me would be taking this and feeding it to one of those orchestrators and say, okay, here's my startup idea, go build it. And then have AI build the whole thing with all the team knowing what they need to do and then basically building it, which would be incredible.
I saw a TikTok of a guy that was doing a startup, and he was literally in a conference room, and he had a bunch of Mac Minis that were all sitting on the conference table, and they were all working in conjunction with each other. And it was literally like that was his employees.
That's so funny.
He was sitting at the head of the table talking to all his AI bots.
I ran it for Font Crafter because I think Font Crafter could be expanded. And let's see here. Where's the valuation? So scalable. The question, I could bootstrap it, but scalable customer acquisition, I need some work. Validation, speed, and signal clarity, I need some work. It's currently average. So if it's average for bootstrap, it's probably going to be average for venture too, because bootstrap is usually more straightforward than venture. So, and then it gives you an idea. So you cascade it out. You can improve this by defining 1 or 2 primary acquisition experiments, or, improve by designing a 7 to 10 day experiment. So you can create the structure that's needed to bring that grade up. Right. Yeah. And I've already built Font Crafter. Like, it is done. Right. Obviously, like if I go to fontcrafter.net, it's done. And I've built out, all the apps, a lot of the apps, but I thought, well, wouldn't it be neat to do like a marketplace where people could do a handwriting font and then turn around and sell it instantaneously? Like everything, just super, super simple and streamlined right there within the browser, I think would just be incredibly compelling. Speaking of, I've made $11 with PenSend on the iPhone. One
of them is me.
Thanks, Matt. I was wondering, I was like, someone must have registered. I don't know who, because I haven't marketed this very well.
Yeah.
You got to leave a rating, because it's like, the ratings are the thing. Did I not leave
a rating?
No, I don't think so. Nothing showed up.
Oh, I'll go back and leave a rating.
Yeah. I don't have any ratings yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave a rating.
I don't know how many people have done I don't know. I haven't gotten any Android updates. I haven't released any updates because I haven't needed to yet. Yeah, I don't even have. Oh, I've got 100 downloads though. That's better than a kick in the pants. That's cool.
Yeah.
Last time I looked, it was like 1. It was me.
I'll go when we're done. I'll go rate the apps, because that will help you. I mean, especially on the App Store. Rating.
Yeah, the App Store will help. The ratings help.
And it also gives you the opportunity to reply to the apps too. If you go to your developer account, you can.
I haven't done it.
That helps boost yours. So when you get feedback and stuff like that, you can go in there and reply to it. So,
well, if you had an idea for a bigger project and like, how do I turn this into a startup? This is by far the most coherent tool that I've ever used. I wouldn't even know where to begin with this nonsense. I really wouldn't. I've never done anything like this before.
I have an idea for it, so maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah, getlev.co.
Once I flush.
I don't think I have a.
Is it a free app?
That I know of. It is free right now. I don't have there's no sign up links or anything like that here. There's an idea finder, a founder type, all that stuff is in here, and you can start a new idea. I'm like, dang, dude. This is easy. I mean, relatively easy. The chat was a little wonky. Like, sometimes I'd have to repeat myself or get stuck, and I kind of had to work around it. But the fact that I baked, and I knew the Font Crafter would not be something that would easily be venture backed, but I feel I could bootstrap it into something more than it is. But the idea of it being for the the signal flare, it totally made sense to me. It totally made sense. Because I'm like, that's a big problem. Huge problem with people. Because, when your account gets stuck, you're like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I fix this? How do I do that? Like, what's going on? How do I make this work? And that's something that I'm really this is a tool, let me put it to you this way, that I would continue to use easily continue to use. There's zero doubt in my mind. Yeah, give me a second. I forgot to do one thing with YouTube. Boy, YouTube changed a whole bunch of stuff with their live. My God. They changed so many things. Oh, there we go. I was sorry. I was like, I went into the YouTube console. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Okay. Figured it out. Easy. Done. All right. Let's go here. Did that. All right. Now, the next thing I was going to show that I vibe coded this past week was Woolly Willy. Did you ever have one of these?
No. Yeah, I think I did actually. Yeah.
Remember, it was like a magnet that you could like drag. Like, let's go True Black.
Can you change the image back there?
As a matter of fact, you can upload a photo.
Oh, nice.
So if I upload Joel and me, and like zoom in on Joel and position like a little lower here. There we go. And then I can give him here. Actually, I can give him old Joel here. Whoa, Joel. Get these iron filings here. Give him a little goatee. So yeah, you can upload photos. This toy I used to play with at my grandparents' house, and I went to the Washington State toy show, and they had one out. I'm like, oh, Gretchen, I'm like, check this out. And like, did you ever have a Woolly Willy? And I don't know if she said she did or not. I don't know if she ever remembered it. But
you went last weekend?
Yeah, this weekend. This past weekend.
Yeah. We were gonna go, but then we had other things.
Yeah, your problem, your infestation. So yeah, so yes, you can do that.
That's
you
awesome.
Can play with it. Yeah, so I did a Woolly Willy, and you can save or share the image, right? I don't like that. Actually, I want to update that. You can shake it up, so like you can move the particles like into a certain quadrant or whatever. So it makes it easier to get them, up there to wherever you need them.
Yeah,
I can give them like Santa eyebrows here, like really dark. Getting the physics right on this thing was a little bit of a challenge, and I ended up going back and forth between Gemini and Claude on that. And I had Gemini build the physics, like describe to me like the physics of like the Woolly Willy. Actually, I don't really. Give me a second. All this stuff here. God, I guess I use it more than I thought. Is old popcorn safe to eat? All these things. I don't care. There we go. The Woolly Willy. There we go. So I said, could you explain mathematically how Woolly Willy worked? And so it gave me the mathematical formula, and then it built a basic visualization. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much it. So just asking it, hey, describe it mathematically, was the thing that I needed to kick things off.
Yeah.
And that helped a lot with this particular app, which relies, on skeuomorphism or physics, right? It has to be kind of realistic. Yeah, so there's that. And then, there's the Control-Alt-Create. Joel is actually speaking. That's why I had his image on the desktop. He's actually speaking the next Control-Alt-Create at the end of the month.
I'm looking forward to that.
Then I did this one. I thought was a fun app. The idea is I wanted to make it like so that you could upload like a book, like an ebook, or your own text or whatever, and then what it would do is it would create like this floating book that you can go in and you can change. You can even file through pages. Let me see if I can grab it here. At the side, right? So not letting me rifle. Did I turn off the rifle? I may have turned off the rifle. Flip through it.
Oh, nice.
You can see it's a different font. I think I may have turned off rifling, but the idea again is just a skeuomorphic book. I thought it'd just be kind of neat. I just wanted to try it. I don't think anybody's necessarily going to use it. It was just more of an experiment. But I think that's kind of the beauty of vibe coding, right?
Yeah.
So even a midair drag. Like you can change all sorts of physics of the book. Took a long time to dial this one in. A long time. But it'll let you upload an EPUB or a paste in text or a PDF. You can drag and drop a PDF in here too.
Nice.
I don't think it'll do a markdown, but if I copied and pasted the markdown, like if I go in here, dang it, I was going to copy the mark. It's now. I've played it out. It's good. So I did that one, and then this one, like a kinetic type experiment. So you see how the text can be like moved around. It's just a different flow. So every time you can refresh it, and it's a different pattern that you can modify, speed, different backgrounds, but it's all type. It's all you're messing with type. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
And then you can go in, of course, and go and you can change anything. I like this, but I don't like that. Like I want to change it from kinetic to this type, another typeface, and I want the fill color to be white, and I want there to be an outline thickness, and I want it to be a pyramid, not a cube, or whatever it happens to be. I think I've got a tornado in here too. But look at how it's got the font. Look at how it has it wrapped around.
Yeah.
See how it's curved?
Yeah, that's clean.
So it's just this is the kind of stuff that I call it Typhoria. Euphoria, Typhoria. But it's kind of like, you know what? I think this is just neat. Just to play around with. And then you can, a nice thing is you can export a 1080p MP4. So like if I hit record, what it'll do is it'll capture this particular video. And then I'm going to drag it into the window here. That's a video cap.
Nice.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. You could do that for a lot of different things, like in animations and in like videos or whatever that you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, granted, this is just a 1080p MP. It's a very basic. Yeah. I didn't do like a full-fledged, like I didn't want to get into the weeds. If I needed to, I could build something more. But it's just the idea of like someone might want to capture it pretty quickly. Yeah. And this is the way to do it.
It'd be great for somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with like motion or something like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Or whatever they use for Adobe uses, the effects are really hard sometimes. So
it's just wild. Like this is just so, it just, and the fact that I can make something like this easily and that anybody can play with it, just interact with it. So I like coming up with these. I haven't thought of many lately. Did this one. I can't remember if I showed this last time, but again, based on the hop principle. It's so I call it hop skip.
Like a screensaver like they used to have.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could be very screensaver. I don't think it can export MP4 on this one. You can do a 4K image, like a wallpaper, but it's a visual thing. So like when someone posts like a formula or something visual in social media, I will take that and be inspired to build an app. Like all the time.
Yeah.
Like even Jedi was playing with it on the phone. She's like, wow, this is really cool. And she was dragging it around. It's all math. It's just math.
Yeah.
Or it's just a different visual of math. And it's random. It's always a random kind of thing. And then you could always dial it in. I'm like, my visualizations now, basically have that as a formula, because none of these are intersecting. None of these lines intersect. They don't overlap. These are all unique. And some patterns are better than others. Specifically the fiber topology, right? There are different fiber topologies that you can go through. But just fun. I don't know, for argument's sake, those are the more recent ones that I guess I had done on the arcade. And then I did. I think I talked to you about. Did I not talk to you about this?
No.
Do you remember? You don't remember. I did this thing. Here,
no, you shared the other one, not this one. You shared the
GalaxR.
GalaxR one, yeah.
Yeah. So I did a GalaxR event where we had 50 vendors at a community center, and then second time we had 75. And I thought, this is before the Washington Toy Show that I went to. I thought, I could kind of do this again, but I got to do something different. I got to do something different with it. I got to do something that works and that's smaller. How can I do it? How can kids benefit? How can communities benefit? And so basically Popcadia was born. And so, yeah, I've got popcadia.com, and the idea is that you can go through and look at what it is. It's basically pop-up events for pop culture collectibles, like geeky and nerdy collectibles. So the idea is, these are the reasons we exist. Helping toys find their kids is kind of the high level. Like you could trade or get them for free, or they could be for sale. Like we take donations. We don't take certain things. We take other things. You can help in different ways. You can be a donor, a patron, a sponsor, or a volunteer. I've got to set up a Patreon for it. Items or money, either one would help. And the idea is, again, looking for sponsors. We'll have a schedule. We'll say at the end of the quarter, we'll have donated a certain amount of money to a local charity or a nonprofit or a cause, FAC, et cetera, et cetera. So the idea is that we'll do pop-up events like on location. I could have, if I got enough toys to give out, I could have like a table or a stand somewhere in a business or an event, like just a very tiny pop-up within an existing thing, or borrowing a truck and then doing like instead of a food truck, a toy truck.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
So what I will need, and you're more than welcome to kind of synthesize. I've reached out, done some initial outreach to different companies that might have overage stock that they can't get rid of. That's what we need. We need things that people can't get rid of or they're not selling, right? Or they want to donate to be either sold for the cause or given away to kids. So I need to, basically do a lot more outreach beyond the outreach that I've done. It's very basic. It's very, very, very basic right now. I'm going to stair step into it. This is just kind of a grand scheme. But why I'm pulling this up, number one, it's an idea. Number two, I used Claude Design to make this, and it did a really good job. Like I really like Claude Design. Yeah. Well, sometimes it falls flat. Like I went round and around with it for a few things. I'm like, I just gave up. I'm like, let me just try it another way. But it really nailed the fun ethos that I was going for this big time. Like I was really excited with how this turned, because it looks professional, right? It's like, wow, what is it? Like 100%. This is like legit. Like it's structured. It's got everything it might need. It's got all the information. It did a really good job as opposed to something that was just feeling generic. So I'm happy with it, or at least happy enough with it. And a lot of it was me refining the pitch combined with refining the flow. No one really knows about it right now. Like I said, the forums are broken because I haven't really hard launched anything. I kind of want to, more feel it out. I've reached out to one local leasing agent for an empty storefront, and they actually responded same day, and they're sending it up to their managers to find out whether or not it would be interesting to basically do it in an empty storefront. I'm like, well, I'd like to do mini events, including a Maker Deck event. So yeah, that's my plan, is to do Maker Deck pop-ups where I now have 5 solid vendors and then some for a pop-up event where it's just 3D printing makers who are selling things, kind of like what you were saying we could do at Formula. I've got some people. I wouldn't want to do it for free though, 1. And 2, I think especially in the summer months, having an overhead structure may be critical, but I got 5 vendors that would be interested in something. So
no,
either way,
pretty legit.
Vibe coded. So you don't, oops, I closed out that window there. That's the Galaxar Popcadia. That was the thing I was launching there. All right, now I've got to close all these windows because otherwise I go click happy on everything. Don't fall asleep on the idea of, how do I want to say this? Vibe coding isn't just for software. And I think even early on, people hear the word vibe coding, they hear the word coding, and they think, I can't do it. So many times in social media, I will see people throw out there, hey, I need help building a website. I'm like, just have an AI tool do it. You could vibe code your own website and you could do it to your own specifications. It's not difficult. You can get down to style, fonts, colors, etc. It's not difficult. Now, the more complex things you want to do, yes, it's going to get more and more complex, but just a simple website, relatively straightforward. In some cases, a lot of these bigger companies are charging hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for you to host something.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm saying that you could build it and have it hosted super, super cheap without the hassle and get exactly what the heck it is you want. So don't think of vibe coding as just making software. You can make sites on your own domains, new domains. This is a completely different world. It's not the way it used to be. You don't necessarily need to hire an expert. Am I saying that there's not a place for developers? No. Am I saying there's not a place for designers? Absolutely not. Am I saying there's not a place for copywriters? No. Marketers? No, none of those things. All those things and those roles are absolutely critical. But you can get close enough to build something that works either well enough or well enough to be able to hand to an expert to take the rest of the way. And that's the value of vibe coding that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. Clip that.
100%. There's so many people out there that spend Squarespace. Think of how much money they spend on Squarespace.
Oh, I know, dude.
Now, they have a shopping cart and everything, but there's a lot of people out there that just use it for a blog or something like that.
But even the shopping cart thing, that's going to get abstracted.
Yeah, no, 100%. But they spend $30 or $40 a month plus everything else, all the fees and everything for, selling stuff on there, and you can do it much easier by vibe coding your own. MakerDeck.net is a perfect example. We pay little money for that to host that and run that, and in some cases it's free. So there's, depending on what you want to do, you can definitely save money.
See, you could even pass this through Claude Design and say, hey, give it a more fun vibe, less generic vibe, and it would give it the Popcadia treatment easily. Yeah. Why isn't that playing automatically? It should. Oh, okay. Speaking of, now I have access to the MakerDeck. Why is it stopping? I don't know why it's stopped like that. I now have access to the MakerDeck Instagram and Facebook. Well, Facebook I think was tied to it. But if we want to try to do the connection for that,
do we try it on your end? Because I don't know. I tried it and I couldn't.
What do I got to do?
We need to link it. So you got to go to business. I think it's business.facebook.com. But
yeah, you got to let me know what I can do or what I need to do. I'd hesitate to log in like in public, but Yeah.
I'll send you the instructions, but you got to go to business, and then you got to combine it into one, and then that'll be the ability you can share that business then with other people, like Liz and myself, but then you can then pull the API key. But that's what you
That's
need.
Instagram. So then you'd get Threads and Facebook too with that?
You can add Threads too. Once you get Instagram.
Yeah, we'd want all three.
Yeah. Once you get Instagram, then you can get Threads, and then you get an API key for all three of them.
And I still think we need another trigger for X.
Yeah.
Like even if it's manual somehow, because a lot of people still use X. And another thing I need, Matt, I need a batch tool, because I end up publishing. I end up batching all my makes. And then I'm only doing like onesie twosie, because like I got to copy paste. I got to do. It's not as I'm an edge case.
Upload multiple at the same time.
Yeah, I want to ultimately multiple at the same time. Yeah, because it's me, and I'm like, description I'd have to write, and that'd kind of be a little tedious. Model may be a little tedious, but ultimately, I feel like it would be a lot easier.
What I've done, what I've started to have it do is I've been working on trying to generate image based off of the link. If you share a MakerDeck or you MakerWorld URL to it, that it automatically generates a description of what the model is.
Oh yeah.
So I've been working.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I've been working on that. I haven't got that, but I'm gonna add batch tool because that's.
Oh my god, that is so much easier.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was one of the things I was thinking about early on, but I will definitely do that. So,
and then we'll have more social support. Okay, yeah, I want to step through that Instagram because I think that'll be kind of critical.
Yeah. And then if you click on, go up to your top, click on your Star Wars characters there. View that. I also added social links down there.
Yeah, I saw those.
They're covered by our thing, but I've also added that. I've got to work on the sizing of it because sometimes if you click on things, if you click on a couple other ones, then they get off. And then you had recommended the search, so you can actually click on the username now, and it'll show everything uploaded by that.
Nice. Yes.
So, yeah. So I added those two things. I've been dealing with the mouse situation, but
yeah, I know.
Been trying to get back to it. And then if you also go to makerdeck.net/mixer. Mixers. Yeah. I created a landing page for
mixers.
Yes.
Oh,
I created a landing page for our events, and I uploaded all the photos, the previous photos.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the Luma link.
Yep, right there. So you can
wait, do we not have on? Hang on. We have. Hang on. We have the Luma. Just link to that. Luma.com/MakerDeck. No, you link to.
Directly to the event.
Yeah, May 18th.
Okay, I'll fix that. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. And then I'm working on getting this to update every month, so it'll automatically update to the next, because it always falls on the third Monday of every month. So. But
even if it's like here is.
Yeah.
This is the schedule, right?
Yeah.
So you can link to the calendar once and then not have to worry about it necessarily.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's great.
So.
Yeah. The things that you could vibe code. I mean, there's no.
The biggest thing was the image at the top, the hero image. Like I was trying to get everybody's faces in there, and
right. So you gotta adjust it.
It was so like your face was covering it, and then Tim's face was covering it, the whole thing. So trying to get it and blend.
Yeah, your face is covered.
Yeah, but it works now. So it's just like a landing page just for the event. So.
All right, give me a second. Where is this? Okay. I don't know how to say that name. UW Nate. There we go. Yeah. UW Nate in chat as we're streaming this live, which we do every Thursday evening, a vibe coding casual session. Let me try it again. Every Thursday, we try to do a very casual vibe coding / AI live stream. And of course, people do tune in. UW Nate asked the question, how long does it take to vibe code? Between 1 minute and infinity. Like, there's no set time. Some of it depends on what it is that you're looking to have done. Some of it's contingent on the platform that you happen to be using, what the ask is, how complex, of a tool you want to build, or software, product, website, whatever. It depends. But the last thing you want to do, I guess if I had a number one starting tip for anybody, the last thing you want to do when it comes to vibe coding is ask AI, how do I vibe code? Don't do it. That is a mistake, because it's going to give you a direction that may go right over your head. What you need to do to start vibe coding is you go to your favorite AI tool and you say, I want to build this that does this. You know what? Here's what you got to do. Head over to my arcade page and look for the app called Vibe Brief. It's free, and it'll step you through a wizard to give you a prompt to give to AI to build the app that you need. That only takes a few minutes to do. And then you'll end up getting an outcome that's closer to what you want. So there's an answer. Clip that. Next Stormtrooper done. The streams are not only coding related. I mean, they're very casual. Obviously, we go in and out of topics. We were just talking about 3D printing, but Matt was saying, how he was using Claude to build the app the way that it's being built, the back end being Notion. So, yeah. Good day from Athens, Greece. That's great. All the way from Athens, Greece. I'm not dead. So anyway, if you have any other questions, happy to answer them while we have you. I know I didn't show Vibe Brief this week. I showed it, Matt. I think it was a week that you weren't here. I don't think anyone was here. Holt wasn't either. I didn't ping him either about today. I forgot. But did you see this? This was based upon the last IRL
I think
Control
I saw
Create.
about it, yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is that you can build a prompt to, based upon, this, that, or the other thing. You can load an example. This is an example of what it might look like in the outcome. So it steps you through, right? So if I need to clear you can even do it. So like the itch, like who has the problem? What hurts? Why does it matter now? What do they do today instead? Picture one real person who'd use this. In one sentence, what is it? The test, what's the riskiest assumption? What's the scope? What's going to make V1, V2, what are you going to hold off on? What are you going to, build up front? And you can move them around, kind of like a Kanban. Like it goes from one file in one side to the other. So it gets you to focus more than anything. Anyway, so that's a free app. Nice. That took a bit to build the way I wanted it to build. I didn't like how the design was everything to me. I was like, the design just wasn't doing it for me. And so the design took a lot of work to get the way that I wanted.
What did you use?
Because otherwise it wouldn't have worked.
What did you use to build it?
Claude. Yeah, very rarely. In fact, the only time I don't use Claude, to be honest, is when I'm building a visual. I feel that Gemini does a better job today, right now, with building more visually compelling apps than Claude does. And then I take it to Claude once I feel like it's gotten to where I'd like it to be.
Yeah.
So I go back and forth between them, but most of them, basically, almost right before FontCrafter really was around the time that I leapt to Claude. Everything before it was Gemini, and I go back and forth. but it's primarily Claude. Now I'm up to 325. I'm slowing down. I'm not like doing it like, but I mean, I gotta like, I'm trying to build something that's like worth building. I gotta wait to be inspired. I gotta think of a problem that I might need to solve, or see somebody else's problem, and then think, well, how could I solve that with an app, or how can I create that with an app, like a mathematical formula, or something of the kind. If I see a shader or whatever, they're all points of inspiration to me.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it for this week.
It was a good week.
Yeah, solid. Got some good clips. I think at least 3 good clips out of that, which is good. Yeah. Just hang on though, Matt. Don't go anywhere, because you've got to upload your
Oh, yeah.
You've been broadcasting from a potato all night. I'm not joking.
Where am
dude.
I at? I'm at probably like.
Let me show you. Oh wait, now you're actually okay. Let me put it this way. I'll take a screen grab. You look good right now. I'll say this. I'll send the screen grab. You look good right now. You didn't before. You were looking worse. Like.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, like really potatoey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully the upload will handle it.
Yeah.
What needs to be handled. What's that? See how one is more green?
Oh yeah.
One's more violet and the other one goes to green. And then it's gonna go from green to yellow, and that's the last one.
Nice.
But I've done a full rainbow of glow in the dark, and they glow in the dark. They're really like, that doesn't help. I don't have my UV light in here, unfortunately. Hang on. It glows in it. There, it's glowing. And the cool thing is, they glow in the general color of what the filament is. So this will glow green, or this will glow violet.
Yeah.
So it's a really cool, really cool. It's just I couldn't figure out what would I use this on.
What's the kind of filament? What's the brand of filament?
This is Polymaker.
Polymaker. Okay.
Yeah, Polymaker. So it's fun, but it's a fun figure. I've got to upload the photos to the model maker. I'm like, dude, no, you got to make more. You got to make more. I didn't. I said you need to make more immediately. I didn't have any of the models printed yet, but anyway, yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.